Oh, there you are. Welcome in. Dave Rothenberg's Giants Obsession on a Wednesday afternoon, a crisp, chilly day here in the New York metropolitan area, but you could be anywhere. I'm told we have viewers in Bangladesh and and Australia and all around the globe. So, Australia, it's like next week. So congratulations, and we welcome you into Dave Rothenberg's Giants Obsession, where we're kind of in a weird spot. We're still post just cataclysmic events that happened on Sunday against Denver. And now we're halfway towards the next game against Philadelphia. And you're not exactly sure how to feel. And I've had a lot of people so far this week tell me, well, I think it's time to turn the page. I think it's time to move on and now look towards Philly. When we get to Sunday at 1, I'll be ready for Philadelphia. I'll be prepared. I'll be mentally focused and all those things. But right now, it's still very fresh. That wound is very fresh for me. And that loss will go down as just not only is it an awful, awful loss, because I've experienced awful losses before, but it felt like you were on the verge of building something. And it felt like you were closing in on being at least relevant. And it feels like the door might be closed on that. And that to me is what's upsetting. I had no delusions the Giants would be a playoff caliber team. But what I did think, and as I was watching the game on Sunday against Denver, was there's a chance that as we get towards the back end of October, the Giants are playing meaningful football. And you might laugh at that. Like someone that roots for Kansas City would laugh at that. Someone that roots for Philadelphia would laugh at that. But the Jets wouldn't laugh at that. And Tennessee Titans wouldn't laugh at that. And the Raiders wouldn't laugh at that. Well, that's what I felt like. I'm watching that game. The Giants are beating up on Denver, and I'm feeling this just aura of invincibility of we're going to win this game. We'll be 3-4. We probably should be 4-3, maybe even 5-2. Another game against Philly. We just own them. You know what? Why not? And that got ripped away very, very quickly. So I'm in that in between. What is it when you're like they can't purgatory where they can't decide? Are they going to put you in heaven? Are you going to go to hell? Like, where are you in that like middle ground? That's what I feel like right now. I'm coming from hell. By the way, capital of hell is anybody? Pandemonium is the capital of hell. All right. So you're in hell. That was Sunday. Now you're in that middle ground. And now when we get to this weekend, I think you'll have that energy and that juice again. And Jackson Dart provides that. Cam Scatterbo provides that, but we're in that middle ground right now, and it's tough. You hate Philly, so when you kick that game off, you'll have that animosity and that hatred that you should have towards the Philadelphia Eagles, but there's a rough week. There's a really rough week. We did learn some good news. They've moved on from Jude, whatever his name is, the kicker, the European project that they had here that, I don't want to say cost them the game, but certainly hampered the chances to win the game. And guess who you can't even make it up. Guess who might be back as the Giants kicker on Sunday? Graham Gano. That's who. So he's entered that. He's off or eligible to come off IR at any point. The practice window is open. If he's healthy enough to kick on Sunday, he will be active and he will be the kicker. Otherwise, Younghoe Koo will be the Giants kicker on Sunday. So we'll get into the Giants and the Eagles, as we always do on this Wednesday, the fantasy waiver wire pickups. And my picks maybe haven't been so good, but my waiver wire pickups have been really, really good so far this season. So keep a nice eye on that. And a new feature, and this is all Steve. All right, Steven, we got to do this. We got to do a parlay. I said, Steve, here's the thing. I don't really do parlays. You got to do parlays. You got to do parlays. All right, we'll do a parlay. So we'll do a Thursday night parlay for you. We'll do it today, one day in advance. But if the parlay hits or you love it, it's all because of Steve. And if the parlay sucks and you hate it, it's also all due to Steve. Comments, conversation, we welcome it. I think you know at this point how to get involved. And I heard a troubling statistic and piece of information the other day. We need to remedy that. But on Fridays specifically, we do this fun little Twitter session where the best questions, comments off of Twitter we get to. And we'll do that again this Friday. So on Twitter, it's at DRNYGO, Instagram, TikTok, DR Giants Obsession, Spotify, Dave Rothenberg's Giants Obsession. And let me go through my spiel, and then I'll say something that has me a little, I wouldn't say concerned, but it's apparent, and I want to bring it to your attention as well. On YouTube, like us, subscribe to us, okay? We are over 2,400 subscribers. which we are thrilled about. 2,401. And we will continue to update you as we increase that number throughout the show today. But here's the thing. I was sitting with our analytics team the other day. And that's true. We started to break down the analytics, much like the Yankees, launch angles and, certain batters against certain pitchers. And we're doing the whole analytical breakdown. And they told me that only 30% of the people that watch the show subscribe to the show, which means that a lot more people are out there, and that upsets me. So here's what I need you to do, and it's so simple. Just subscribe. You subscribe, and now you're in. Now it's like the cool click in school. Now you're in, and we'll take you in places that you only imagined when you were younger. So again, there's no way 3 out of 10 people should be subscribing. Subscribe. I think you like the content. I know you like the content. It's a lot of Giants-centric stuff. And then we do our fantasy waiver pickups, and we'll focus on the NFC East, and we'll do our Mount Rushmore. So there's a lot more than that. But we really implore you to subscribe, and it is important. It does keep us rolling here. So some thoughts about the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are not a great football team. They're not. I know they're 5-2. They probably should have lost to the Rams. They lost to the Broncos. They lost to the Giants. Even in beating Minnesota this past week, it took a pick 6 and some fortunate moments. Now, they're good, and they'll probably be – I still think they win the division, and they'll probably be one of the last few standing in the NFC. But, I mean, I don't think this team is the same team that we saw last year. Last year's team was special. Last year's team was dominant. Last year's team could take the football and like the old Packers with Vince Lombardi and the Packers sweep, they could – take the football, tell you we're going to run it down your throat. You knew they were going to run it down your throat, and there was nothing you could do about it. That's what the Eagles were last season. This season, it's not the same. They've been, how about this now? They've been outgained in every single game they've played so far this year. They're 5-2, yet they've been outgained in every single game. And they're a very good team. But I don't look at them as the same team that we saw last season. So what you need to do, and I don't know if you guys are good at it, but I'm not. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. And when my team wins or loses, that like will crush me or buoy me for days. So I guess the thought is, when do you start to turn the page and think about Philadelphia? I mean, we will on this show, and I will on my radio show, but I'm not there yet. Like, I'm still in mourning. Like, when someone dies, if a spouse dies, you don't just the next day start dating. It takes time to like go through all those stages of grief. Well, in a much lesser way, I guess, that's where we are. The body is still warm, and you're still horrified by what you saw. So I can't on a Wednesday just be like, all right, Philadelphia, here we go. Beat them a couple weeks back, and we'll pick up where we left off, and we'll just flip a switch. And the Giants have some injury concerns now, right? I mean, Brian Burns, who is by far your best defensive player, he was in a walking boot after the game. We're not 100% certain about what's going to be with him. Now, if he doesn't play, it'll be a massive loss, and we'll see. But the ankle, the foot is obviously an issue for him. If he can't go, and I think he will, because he did last year battle through a lot of injuries, he's a great player. It would be a massive loss not to have him. I think Paulson Adebo is good. Now, stick with me here if this makes any sense to you. Paulson Adebo is good, but having Paulson Adebo is good. It matters. Not having Paulson Adebo is catastrophic, right? Like, Adebo's good. He's a good player. He's fine, an average to a little above average player, but you don't have him, and you're like, oh, God, the depths that you go to in not having him is a real problem, because all of a sudden, the less Paulson Adebo you have, the more Deontay Banks you do have, and that's a problem. Because Banks is just not, I'm sorry, he's just not really an NFL caliber player at this point. You saw what happened. I mean, it was the perfect storm. You ever see that movie with George Clooney and Mark Wahlberg and William Fichtner, and they go out to the middle of the sea? It's in Boston. It's a true story. They go out to the middle of the sea, and everything converges into the perfect storm. That's what the Broncos game was. It's like the defense got winded. They had nothing left, so they couldn't get after the quarterback. Adebo goes out. Banks comes in. The kicker can't make a kick. 3rd and 5, and you throw the football. It gets picked off. It's like everything that could go wrong It was Clooney. It was Wahlberg. It was Mary Elizabeth Master Antonio, I think, was in that movie. It was everything that you hoped it wouldn't be, is what it was. Javon Holland, he is also questionable for this game, and he's another important piece to this defense. Again, do I think Adebo Holland, that combination is great? No, but to not have them is a bigger loss than having them is a gain. So we'll have to see. And now I want to remind you of this. Last time the Giants played the Eagles, Quinyon Mitchell left that game very early. He's now back. Jalen Carter did not play in that game. He's now back, and he's been playing. So this is not going to be an easy game. And if you think for a second that Philadelphia will look past the Giants at all, you're crazy. They just got embarrassed on national television, humiliated really by the Giants, and I'm sure they'll answer the bell. Doesn't mean the Giants can't compete. Doesn't mean the Giants can't win. But it's a tall order. That being said, I thought the Giants would lose to the Chargers. I thought the Giants would lose to the Eagles, and I thought the Giants would have no chance against Denver. So clearly, I guess what you'd have to say is the Giants are better than we thought they were, right? You watch the first 3 games. They're 0-3. They make the move at quarterback, and it's made a massive difference. The Giants are, in fact, better than we thought they were. Scott Hansen, Hardson, I can't really see. What happened with you and Rex? He was a weekly on the show. I don't even know what. I'm shocked at it, how badly you spoke about him on Sunday. Nothing happened with me and Rex. I just think Rex is very bullish, and Rex is very, confident. I don't have any issue with Rex. No, the reason I said something about Rex is because someone said Rex Ryan as the defensive coordinator. Might have even been you. And I don't want Rex Ryan. I don't want that. Look at me, guy in the silence. I think Rex is a smart football guy. I think Rex is perfectly, a perfect fit for his role in television. I don't have an issue with him. I have no personal problem with Rex. I don't think I spoke poorly about him. Rex is a look at me kind of guy, and I don't think the Giants want that. I mean, you say what you want. Rex Ryan hasn't coached this league in a decade, right? There was discussion that he was going to coach with the Cowboys. There was discussion that he was going to coach with the Jets, and he hasn't coached in this league in a decade. And he wants to coach in this league. And he pleaded with the Jets to get back into this league, and they didn't want any part of him. Now, in retrospect, the Jets probably should have brought him back because Aaron Glenn, oh boy, that is not going well. But just for the record, I have zero issues at all with Rex. I consider Rex to be a friend. That being said, I wouldn't want him running the Giants defense here. I think he's smart. I just don't want all that shine on a defensive coordinator. I wouldn't want that. So that's not an issue with Rex, just kind of my take on Rex. All right, let's bring in the guys. Let's bring in the 2 of them and say hello to Nico and say hello to, what's your name? Steve. Steve, how are you? Steve, big day for you today with the Knicks starting,
Best day of the year, man. Best day of the year. I'm so excited. A little nervous. Haven't won a game in a few years. Opening day, so.
Are you going to the game tonight?
No. I don't got $400 to sit up top.
Well, I think I'm hearing you through Nico's microphone and not through your own.
You don't hear me?
Now I do.
My mic's
if you could actually get the mic close to your mouth.
Want me to hold it? Or I'll hold it the whole time.
Better. But Nico, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Dave?
I'm not great.
Yeah.
I'm still not over that catastrophe. What's the word? Catastrophe, I think, is the word.
That would be the word, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, sounded like you don't know how to pronounce a word. I think
what
means
word?
The catastrophe.
Catastrophe, I just said. It took a minute. Well, please. At least if you put like English language in front of me, I can appropriately.
Well, we're actually going to test that soon.
Oh, is that right?
We are going to test that
We're going to test whether I can read or not, or whether you can read or not.
Whether me and Steve can read or not.
Oh, we're going to have a reading battle?
We are going to have a
oh my
reading
God.
battle.
This is like what's the old like the tallest person in a contest of you can't say that word anymore, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
Oh boy.
This is going to be great.
Really, I look forward to that. There's a chance that nobody wins.
No, there's a chance. Steve's been nervous about this for like 2 weeks since we brought
I've been nervous about this for 22 years. So,
about public reading?
Yeah. Public speaking I could do easily, but public reading, I don't know.
So you've been in radio though, right?
Yeah.
You've done some radio. So when you have like live copy, what do you do?
Well, I just have like a show map.
Right, but if there's like a promote, like you went Iona, right? That's where you went to Iona?
Yeah.
So if like
I did a promo for them the other day.
All right, Steve, we want you to promote Iona baseball. Iona playing Fordham in baseball. Here's the sheet. This is what we want you to read. coming up 4:00 on Wednesday. Iona takes on Fordham over at Legion Field. Make sure you're there. First pitch, blah blah blah. There's going to be concessions and first 500 get in for free. If they put that in front of you, could you read that?
I can. I just sometimes get a little nervous in the moment. Maybe.
I used to mess those up all the time.
Oh my God, you guys!
I really did. We had the sheet right in front of me. I used to mess it up all the time.
So we're gonna do our parlay later in the show, right? You guys asked me to create a parlay, created a parlay, and that we'll do that via ESPN Bet or FanDuel, whatever odds we're going to use. If they made odds based on your reading battle against the other, who do you think would be laying action here?
I mean, I don't have a good track record so far, so
right.
I mean, I might be the underdog for a little bit.
So you think you're like plus 200 and he's minus
no
300?
way.
I think I'm like plus 115.
You're
one, so it's close.
I don't even think you're plus. It's like probably minus both way.
You're nervous, Steve? Like you're actually actively
I'm shaking. I got goosebumps.
Steve's nervous right now.
All right. Well,
I'm rattled.
If you don't win with a guy, like freaking out about having to read, then
I think I'm in a good spot.
We have any comments?
We do.
Like
so
nice.
we'll start off this competition. I'm gonna go one. Steve's gonna go one, and we'll see how if anyone has a hiccup. All right.
So am I the ultimate judge here?
I guess you're the judge, and if anyone wants to leave comments down below and let us know who do you think's winning so far.
Will I get to see the text so I can appropriately navigate whether you guys are reading it properly or not?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
I think Steve's going to go first because I've been reading them, so I don't want to put him on the spot.
It feels unfair that
he's going to give me like the longest one.
So, Steve, what you're going to see, you have not seen in the past.
No.
Okay. All right. Pop it up there. Let's see what we got. Comments. All right.
This is from Dread XCII.
Right. That's Roman numerals.
Sure.
Okay.
We only have Flott to guard Brown. If Adobo is out and Brown has like 60 pounds on Flott.
So a couple things. First of all, we've been doing the show. This is what week 8 we're approaching. Right?
Yeah.
Steve?
Wait, I'm holding the mic. It's bothering me.
No. Do me a favor, Nico. Put that back up there, would you please? What are the Giants cornerbacks' names? Paulson who?
Steve.
What?
Who's Paulson what?
I'm moving my mic right now.
All right, Steve, focus for a second. This is like dealing with a child. By the way, guys, we'd like you to vote. Who reads better, Nico or Steve? Would be unbelievable. So if you're on the chat, please let us know. You can't determine that yet because we haven't heard Nico try to read. But Steve, Paulson
Adebo, sorry.
Right, is the guy that we've discussed weeks on end. And now you look at that, and it's spelled Adebo, and you think that's adobo?
In the moment, yes.
Okay. Let me read it in English here. Dread XCII, right? I don't remember exactly. X, I think, is 10. C, I'm not sure. I is 2. So I don't know. It's something X, whatever the C is, and we could figure it out. But he says, we only have Flott to guard Brown. If Adobo is out and Brown has like 60 pounds on Flott, no, there's none of it is good. Okay. Dallas Goedert crushes the Giants. They don't defend any tight end well. That's for starters. Secondly, if Adebo is in fact out and Flott has to go to guarding AJ Brown, and you're right, Brown is way bigger than him. Who's guarding Devontae Smith? That becomes a problem. So everybody has to step up, and I don't know that they have the guys to, in fact, step up. So that's a real problem. All right, Steve, I'm gonna outside of the name, I'm gonna say that was poor. So I'm gonna give you a 6.5 for your first.
You know what?
attempt.
I'll take a 6.5.
6.5 is a great number for that.
I'll stop it out of 10.
Yeah,
I'll take a 6.5.
That's a great number.
All right. Now, Steve, do you have access to
Steve's gonna give me the next one.
I'd like you now to pick the one that we're going to use for him, and then we'll
give it in it's in the
we'll see the abilities that he has here.
I see it in the start.
Okay, we are live, so anytime soon would be greatly appreciated. All right, I'm going to let you know. I'm going to set you up here.
Yep.
Nico, this is from Kenneth Rolls. The floor is yours.
Coming in from Kenneth Rolls, you said Gruden probably won't get a job this cycle on DNR this morning. How would Gruden or Cliff Kingsbury would be worse? Dayball needs elite level talent to mask his coaching warts.
So I guess he's asking about Gruden or Kingsbury. I don't think Gruden is there. I don't think that the NFL is at the point where they're going to kind of let Gruden back in. The way it ended with him was terrible. So I don't think that he's back in all that quickly. Kingsbury, yeah, I think he's an interesting potential target for the Giants. He's an offensive mind. You see that he could do great things with Jaden Daniels. Well, I think there's a lot of similarities between Jaden Daniels and Jackson Dart right now. So I appreciate that. I think I'd want someone kind of more with more creativity offensively than, you know what, Nico, I'm going to punch you than those two guys right now. I was going to give you 6'7".
6'7".
Yeah.
6'7".
That's right. And you think that's an accident? You think I don't know the lingo that you people are working with
Dave
now?
knows ball.
Dave knows ball.
I know. I mean, you guys are both mid. All right, I'll take it.
Wow.
And I'll leave it at that.
I'll take mid.
6'7", right?
That's
No,
going to be on
I was
social media tonight.
I was actually going to give you a 7'5", but because you got nasty, now you go down to a 6'7". So round one goes to Nico.
That's fine.
That's fine.
All right, but not like definitively. It was pretty close. All right, we have more questions.
Yeah, we do. Steve, you can take this one.
Go ahead, Steve. Come on.
Oh, this is my dad's friend. Louis Marcone. Dexter needs to bust the middle. Middle pressure more important than edge pressure. Disrupt the timing of that offense.
All right. Now that was well read. I mean, I don't know whether there was a familiarity that you had with that because you know Louis Marcone and you feel comfortable with him and his name, and that like buoyed you into the read.
You need to get the first one out.
That was well done. Nico, I'm sorry to tell you that's a 9.5.
Wow.
I mean, it was really well done.
Wow.
Let me just comment on the analysis. Yeah, all of it matters. I mean, when you're trying to slow down Saquon, which you did really, really well the first time these two teams did battle, you do that by, slowing down the push up the middle. Now, remember also, Dickerson, the kid from Landon Dickerson, the kid from Alabama, he didn't play in that game either. And he's going to play in this game. So this is a tall order. The venue switches as well. But you're right, Dexter Lawrence. And I'll be honest with you, I think Lawrence is a terrific player. Through 7 games, I've been a little bit underwhelmed in Dexter Lawrence, and I think he does, in fact, need to be better. But I wouldn't say that pressure up the middle is more important than pressure on the edges. I think it all matters. I think keeping contained, like Carter's able to do well. I think Thibodeau needs to keep contained. I think, they need to slow down the rush right up the middle. I think all of it matters. I think because that's the strength of the Giants. Okay, the best part of their team is the front four. So if you get solid play or even better than that from your front four, that's very important. If your secondary is going to be the weak link, and not only is it the weak link regardless of what day it is, if it's even weaker because it's banged up, well, now you need that much better of a version of the front four, and then I'm not sure you're going to get it. We'll see. But you're right, Dexter Lawrence does have to be good in the middle of that Giants defense. Nico.
This is given to me by Steve.
We have another one. Okay.
There we go.
There's a lot of pressure on you right now.
Coming in from Beaver Gladiator. If they decide to be active at the trade deadline, should they focus on the secondary or wide receivers?
That was also very well read. I think that's the equivalent of what Steve just gave you. That's a 9.5.
I'll take a 9.5.
Yeah, it's a 9.5. It's a good solid read.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
The answer to the question is yes. Should they be active with the secondary or wide receivers? Yes. I mean, they need all of it, guys. They need secondary. They need offensive line. Now, you're not going to fix everything at the trade deadline. It's just not done in football. It'd be silly to give away that level of asset. But, I mean, if you could get Jacoby Myers, who requested again, I want to be traded. Tyler Lockett was just let go from the Tennessee Titans. Is that somebody that you would, kick the tires on? I've talked to Jordan Renan about this. I think we did it on this show. And I said, would you trade a 2 and a 5 for Jalen Waddle? He said, why? That's a finishing piece kind of move. I don't think we're in that situation right now. But a corner, yeah. But the problem is everybody needs a corner. Everybody's in the market for a corner. Everybody's in the market for someone that can slow down the good receivers on the other teams. I'd be very cautious if I'm the Giants because, yeah, you'd like to get better now, but the truth of the matter is you're not going anywhere now. Giants aren't going to the postseason. Giants are going to be a 500 team. The Giants are, you want to see Jackson Dart take steps, and you've seen a lot of really positive steps from Jackson Dart. Bottom line is you don't want to give away legitimate big assets for a Band-Aid right now. And also think about this. If you trade for Jalen Waddle, right? For argument's sake, a 2 and a 5 for Jalen Waddle. Well, I think that's fair. But now you're paying him. Now you're paying him a fortune of money where if you take, let's just for argument's sake say you pick 8th and you take, and next year's draft, by the way, is a really, really solid wide receiver draft. All right. So you pick 8th. And let's just say you take the equivalent of the guy that went 8th this year, like Tet McMillan. But now you're paying him on the rookie wage scale. So you have him as your number 2 receiver. You're not paying him. You're still not paying Malik Neighbors. You're not paying Jackson Dart. You're not paying a running back. All of a sudden, now maybe you have a little bit of money that you can spend on either another corner or fixing and shoring up that offensive line. Now, if in fact you were to trade for Waddle, then with the 8th pick, you could draft the offensive line. And there's different ways that you can adjust here, but I just want to be very careful. And also, a guy like Jalen Waddle, who I like, and I think everybody likes, is very injury prone. And that has to be a concern as well. All right. Are we going to shelve the reading battle for a moment, guys? I think you both showed that you're not very good, and then with your second read, you got much better.
Yes.
So can we get back to this?
We will get back.
Okay, terrific. My picks. How about those picks? Remember when I was sitting here bemoaning how bad I was and I couldn't win and I was so terrible and 0-2 and I'm going to go to 0-3 and I'm imploring you take the Bucks. That's going to be a win for you because I chose the Lions. Well, looky here. So I told you Lions minus the 5.5, and the Lions won that game by 15 points. Easily covered that number. We're back. We're back. Now we've improved to 8-13 on the year. Nothing but green space in front of us, and away we go. So look out. All right, we are making real strides. We're on a 1-game winning streak. And what do they say? Even the longest journey begins with the first step. There you have it. That's the first step. So we go 2-1 this week. We inch our way towards 500. And by the time we get to the postseason, we have climbed that hurdle. Okay, let's get back into Philadelphia's offense a little bit. By the way, there's a poll regarding your guys' reading, I'm being told, and the votes are in, and it's a deadlock. We are tied, split down the middle, which I guess means that it goes to like the judge, which would be me, and I will have that ultimate determining vote later on. But we'll do another reading battle when we have comments a little bit later on in the show as well. But guys, if you'd like to vote, you're more than welcome to on the YouTube chat. Like us, subscribe to us as well. All right, Philadelphia offensively. And here's the thing. You can sit here and you can list all the things they have. An elite receiver, yep. An elite number 2, yep. A good tight end, yes. An elite running back, absolutely. A quarterback who there's differing opinions on him. He's a 2-time Super Bowl appearance guy, right? And he's a Super Bowl champion as well. So it's hard to argue that he's not good. I don't think he's great. I think he's more of a product of that system, but he's a good quarterback. Offensive line, also good. Not as good, but also good. But you look at some of the rankings. By the way, is there a more unattractive color than green? I mean, Kelly green is Eagles green is so disgusting, isn't it? Like that pea soup green. Anyhow, points per game, they're at 14th in the league. Passing yards per game, they're at 22nd in the league. Total yards per game, they're at 26th in the league. And rushing yards per game, they're at 30th in the league. So you go through all those little numbers and nuggets, and I think you get to the bottom line is almost halfway through the season, this offense has not been great. It hasn't. I mean, I know that we sit here and we say, do they have a top 5 wide receiver duo in the league? They do. Do they also have a petulant child at wide receiver? They do. I mean, it's the truth, right? A.J. Brown, when a guy's unhappy after a team wins the ultimate prize and the Super Bowl, I think you have to take that into account. When like they're winning, they rolled last season. And they're winning games, and he has to find ways to calm himself down on the sideline because he's continually unhappy with the way the offense is running. I mean, maybe I'm on an island here. That to me is a legitimate problem. So you go through all the things. Do they have, on paper, a top 5 wide receiver duo in the league? Absolutely. Do they have a top 12 tight end in the league? Absolutely. Do they have a top 5 running back in the league? And I would have said 1 or 2, but I think you have to start to change your view on that. I mean, he has not been that running back this year. He's not. I mean, Jonathan Taylor is clearly better. Bijan Robinson is clearly better. And I think Saquon is great. But let's not lose sight of the fact that he has not been so great this season as of yet. Now, could that change? Of course. Of course it could. But at this moment, he's not a top 5 running back in the league. Overall, you'd say absolutely he is. Quarterback, he's good. Offensive line, they're good. They have it all. They just haven't really put it together as of yet. You saw that last time out. I mean, they trailed by 3 at halftime against the Giants and lost by 17. They didn't score a point in the second half of that game. And to make matters worse, the Giants went 5 straight quarters without allowing a point, right? Second half, quarters 3 and 4, that's 2. Then quarters 1, 2, and 3 against Denver. That's 5 consecutive quarters without allowing a point. You say, all right, well, how many are you going to allow in the fourth quarter? Because you should win that game. 33. 33. Anyhow, the Eagles offense is not clicking yet, and you would just hope that this weekend on Sunday at the Link or the Vet or wherever they play and house that jail for people to go to during the game, you would hope that they don't find their way as of yet. But that being said, they're still 5-2. And you look at their schedule. I got to bring up their schedule because the Rams game I remember distinctly they should have lost, and they somehow snatched victory out of the jaws of defeat. That's what they did. There's no way they should have won that game against the Rams. They blocked 2 field goals, and the last one went back for a touchdown. But I'm going to quickly bring up their schedule because I know they lost to the Broncos. That we know. We know they lost to the Giants as well. But there's other games in there that they shouldn't have won. So week 1, Dallas, yeah, they narrowly got by Dallas. At Kansas City, remember Travis Kelce, who never drops a pass, dropped that pass that would have been a touchdown, and they didn't win that game, Kansas City, because of that. Rams, they should have lost. Tampa, they probably should have won. They were the better team in that Tampa game. And then they lose to Denver, the Giants, and they beat Minnesota. And Minnesota, they were outplayed for a stretch of that game. So I know they're 5-2. They probably should be a 4-3, maybe even a 5-2, but it doesn't feel like it's the same. It doesn't feel like it's exactly the way it was for this team last year. All right. Do we have more comments that we can get to? I think I need a tiebreaker, guys. I need one more read from each of you, and then I can determine the victor here. And also, I'd like to know what the current polling is at before the polls currently closed.
The poll ended at 50-50, a dead draw.
50-50. Polls closed. All right. So now it comes down to me.
Now it comes down to
you. So
you.
here's the thing. Now I have a lot of control and power right now. You would agree?
You do.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to allow you to talk about me for a moment then. Yeah, I'm going to allow each of you to talk about me for a moment, knowing that I have the ultimate vote, that I control your future right within my hand.
Listen, Dave, I think that you are a multifaceted individual, talented, wise, beyond his years.
Right.
And I think that you're a real mentor and in this industry, as well as through your mind and your football knowledge. I think it's I think it's excellent.
Okay. That's not bad. Steve?
Dave.
And microphone, Steve.
Freaking hold it. Dave.
Take a moment. You need a breath?
No, I'm good.
All right.
I think you're a fantastic guy. You've helped me out so much so far growing on this show. It's been fantastic. That's all I'm going to say. I don't need to have that much, brown stuff on my lip like someone else. So I'm going to keep it how it is.
All right. Nico, you win.
Thank you.
I mean,
because that was violent.
Yeah. I mean, you became combative, Steve. I'm not sure why you became somewhat combative. And you felt a little overwhelming. That being said, you still have a chance. You still have a real chance to win the reading battle. Nico, choose one for Steve. Steve, you choose one for Nico, and we'll make our ultimate determination who wins.
Okay. I will go first.
Okay.
And I will give one to Steve.
Okay.
So I have one, lined up.
That's big of you.
From Bobby Bugs 82,
there
the
you
man
go.
himself. The Eagles are by far the more talented team. The Giants have to be better unit. They were 2 weeks ago. They need to be even better in Philly.
All right, so let's attack your reading of that.
Well, I was trying to fix it up.
Yeah, I understand. It's not written beautifully. You're okay. I mean, your first one was a 6.5. Your second one was beautiful at a 9.5. I'm going to put that at a 7.7. I thought it wasn't great. You did have the hiccup. You kind of had issues with some of the lack of punctuation, which I blame both you and Bobby for. But I'm not going to crush you for it. Now let's answer the question. The Eagles are the more talented team. The Giants have to be the better football team. The Giants were the better football team. The Giants won the turnover battle. The Giants were effective and excellent in third down conversions, and they'll need to be equally good, if not better, in Philadelphia. So, yes, what Bobby says is highly accurate right there. All right, and now we go to the piece de resistance. Nico, with your read. Steve, you select.
Coming in from Dapool 2017 Maz, trade with the Jets for Garrett. He wants out, and the Jets need draft picks. Throw in Winston so the Jets can have a QB that isn't afraid of the ball.
So here's the thing. That was good, but nowhere does it say isn't afraid of the ball.
Isn't afraid the ball.
Right?
I fixed it.
You did fix it on the fly. Nico, that read, based on you winning the buttering up competition of the show, you win.
Let's go.
Nico, you are a better reader than Steve. Congratulations. A hearty congratulations. All right. So, well, first of all, you say he wants out and the Jets need draft picks. Everybody needs draft picks. You don't know that he wants out. Would he be great on the Giants? He'd be great on the Giants. But you're going to have to give up a ton for Garrett Wilson. And on the flip side, the Jets have so little as far as weapons are concerned. The one weapon they have, they're going to trade. Breece Hall's a good football player. He's not under contract after this year. I imagine they're going to trade him. That makes sense. Now, the one guy remaining, right? You look at the Jets. Offensive line is okay in pieces. Running backs, Breece Hall's good. He's going to be gone. Alan Lazard is lousy. Right? They don't really, Mason Taylor's fine. The one guy that you look at and say, yeah, they have a really good receiver in Garrett Wilson. You want to trade him? So then when you draft Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore or, Simpson at Alabama, whoever it is, you want to give him nothing as far as receiver is concerned? No. The trade's not going to happen. On their best day, the Jets and Giants aren't making a trade. So I find that to be highly, highly unlikely. If the Jets start to trade off like the Garrett Wilsons and the Sauce Gardners of the world, they might as well go play in the CFL. And that's what it kind of feels like anyway, that the Jets should probably like. The NFL feels, in fact, like it's too much for the Jets, doesn't it? It feels like they're in over their heads and they should probably move on from this league. By the way, Steve, I got bad news for you, man.
Are you talking about Towns?
Yep. New York star Karl Anthony Towns has been downgraded to doubtful to play in tonight's season opener against the Cavs. That's courtesy of Shams with ESPN. So great. So no Karl Anthony Towns, it looks like. No Josh Hart. No Mitchell Robinson. By the way, did you see this?
0-1.
So what?
0-1.
They don't look great. So I don't know if you saw this. So yesterday, Woody Johnson took to the microphone and he was saying how awful Justin Fields is. Did you see, Steve, did you see this? You didn't see this?
I saw the news about how he shoved Justin Fields down. And it was just,
why
how do you do that?
Closing your eyes when you're talking?
Because it's just ridiculous. Why would you say that?
A trance. All right, calm down. So he went after Justin Fields and, how are we supposed to win with this kind of a guy? And he can't even complete a pass. And that's why, a couple things. A, he was not good, but capable on Chicago. He was 4-2 on Pittsburgh. Now, all of a sudden, he comes here and he's absolutely awful. So he put, at the end of this conversation, everyone is of the mindset that, okay, Tyrod Taylor is going to get the start this week for the Jets against the Bengals, right? That's what makes sense. Well, turns out only the Jets. Tyrod Taylor's hurt. Tyrod Taylor is suffering from, I think, a sore knee and is questionable to be able to even play in this game on Sunday. If Tyrod Taylor cannot play in this game on Sunday, guess who gets to make the start? The man who can't complete a football downfield, the one and only Justin Fields. We are really, the Jets are.
This is fine, though. We don't get to win.
No,
we don't want to win.
Yeah, but come on.
You guys aren't going to get the win either way.
Games, and there's embarrassing yourselves to a proportion that is almost unseen, and that's where the Jets are right now. All right, so guys, throw up, if you would. Not throw up, that would be awful. But throw up on the screen my parlay for this Thursday night game. Look at all the cash I have in my hand there. Right, so now you're going to get plus 607 odds. You say, exactly what does that mean? So if you bet $100, you take $100 of your hard-earned money and put it on this wager, you will now win $607. So let's refresh your memory. It's the Vikings at the Chargers Thursday Night Football. I like the Chargers to win. They've lost 3 of 4. I don't trust Carson Wentz. The quarterback advantage clearly is in the hands of the Chargers. Herbert is much better. I know that the running back situation is kind of a mess for the Chargers. Their receivers are good. Gadsden is playing high-level football. McConkey is back and healthy. I look for the Chargers to win. That's number 1. Number 2, Carson Wentz. I think this is going to be a somewhat high-scoring game. I think the Vikings are going to need to put points on the board. Wentz is going to have to throw the football. Even in a loss to the Eagles, he went way over 222. I will take Wentz to go over 222.5 passing yards. It's number 2 of this 4-leg parlay. Number 3, Justin Jefferson over 80.5. He is probably the best receiver, maybe the side of Jamar Chase in the NFL. He will go over 80.5. I don't think it's all that much of a debate. Even when he's not great, he's still really good. I like that one. And lastly, Oronde Gadsden. And this just goes to show how, in fact, old I am. I remember his father playing in the NFL. He was a good player. All right. Now his son out of Syracuse, Oronde Gadsden, he's here. He had a terrific game against the Colts. Again, I think you're going to see quite a bit of points in this game on Thursday. He's kind of become that staple, that like legitimate tight end weapon here with the Chargers. I'll go over the 42.5 yards for Gadsden. So again, to recap, Chargers on the money line, Wentz over 222.5, Jefferson over 80.5, Gadsden over 42.5 receiving yards, and you put down $100 and you now win $607. Put down $10 and you win more than 60. All right, so there you have that. And that'll be nice, right? Because who can't use a little bit of extra money heading in to the weekend? All right, I want to get into Philadelphia's defense, and their defense is not great. See, here's the thing. Philly's not great, and it's a credit to their kind of intestinal fortitude and a credit to their coaching, and that's right, I said it, and just their kind of understanding of how to win games, that they are sitting here at 5-2. They're really good in the red zone, like elite in the red zone. But the Giants are a much better red zone team now than they were, because you have the threat of Jackson Dart and his legs. And even the other day when they took the lead over Denver, what do? Spread them 5 wide and plunge forward and score the touchdown. I want to get into something off of that as well, but I want to quickly analyze the defensive rankings and numbers and stats of where we are with Philadelphia. All right, so let's go down the list here. Points per game, 20th in the league. Not very good. So lower third of the league. Passing yards allowed per game, 19th in the league. So their secondary is vulnerable. Total yards allowed per game, 23rd. Do you see a theme? I mean, the theme is, if you looked at all their numbers offensively, combine that with their numbers defensively, there's really no way this team should be sitting here at 5-2. Rushing yards per game. Saquon is not having a good season. In fact, Cam Scatterbo is, at this point, has more rushing yards than Saquon. That is completely unacceptable. Scoring, they're 20th in the league. So everything, it's like bottom third, bottom third, bottom third, bottom third, bottom third. And the thing, and this will save you, because if a team gets down to your 8-yard line and you can hold them to 3s over 7s or 6s as far as the Giants are concerned, because they don't really make the extra point, that's the way to succeed, and that they're doing very well. And that matters a lot, right? Like, what you are between the 20s happens, and then what you are inside the 20s matters the most, right? If you let them go up and down the field, but they get to your 18-yard line and you shut them down for 3, well, think about that now for a second. If they get to your 15-yard line 3 times and you hold them to 2 field goals and a touchdown, that's 13 points. If you let them score 2 touchdowns and a field goal, that's 17. And if you let them score 3 touchdowns, that's 21. That's a big difference, guys. A massive difference in just being a good football team inside the red zone. So the thing I wanted to mention, and I don't remember, because I can't remember everything, if we discussed it on this show or not, or I discussed it on my radio show, which we spent a lot of time discussing it on. And there's this like groundswell of the Giants should have not scored as quickly as they did at the end of that game. And to me, that is such a stupid idea and dumb thought process. Okay, so you're the Giants. Hardly do you look at this as the most polished offense that you've seen. You're at the 1-yard line. There's, I don't even remember how many seconds there were before the play, but it ends with 37 seconds. So Dart gets in. The Giants take the lead 32-30 with 37 seconds to play. That's plenty of time. But you can't start to sit here and play God and say, no. We need to run it below 25 or 20 or 15. And this idea, and there's a lot of people that have this thought, that that's what you should do to effectively milk and bleed the clock down is asinine. And I'll tell you why. We sit here. Well, now, in retrospect, that's what you should have done. Did you know the kicker was going to miss the extra point? Did you know the Giants were going to rush 3 and allow them to pick up 60 yards of offense in 2 plays down the field? You didn't know that. In your wildest dreams, you didn't think that was going to happen. Or no, how could you think that was going to happen? And secondly, tell me you couldn't see the Giants take a knee on first down. They let the clock run down to 16 seconds. Now they take a timeout. Now they decide to get into their offense, right? Now they take a false start penalty. And now they're second and goal at the 6, and then they screw it up. That's fireable. Like what you just saw was embarrassing, but it was not like the upper levels of embarrassing. It was terrible. Terrible. If you start to play NFL God and don't get in and score a touchdown, that's the highest level of embarrassing. And that to me is like fireable. It really would be. So I wanted to just get that out there as well. Eagles turned things around against the Vikings. They did. They had a big, and that's the thing. Remember, Giants played in the first time, and the Giants didn't turn the football over. They were +2 in the turnover margin. Well, last week, the Eagles got a huge pick 6, and listen, Carson Wentz will do that. And we know that Jackson Dart is mistake prone, and he should be. Like, you've seen nothing from Jackson Dart that leads you to believe that he's not going to be able to overcome this, but he got picked off twice against New Orleans. He could have easily gotten picked off more than the one time he did against Denver, because that last drive, it was good living for him. He could have picked off twice on that last drive. So I'm just saying, be very aware that Philadelphia's defense is opportunistic and the Giants cannot afford to turn the football over. And where does that leave us? That leads us to, like we mentioned, a middle ground. We're 3 days past the catastrophe, and we're 4 days prior to another game against the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm in that, I'm almost in that like hangover period where you've gone out on a Saturday and you got drunk as can be, and you wake up on the Sunday morning and you're a little groggy and you really don't want to be doing anything. So you pull the covers back over your head. You say, you know what? Wake me up at noon just in time for football, and you'll feel better at that point. That's what I feel like. Get me through this week. Get me to the weekend. Get me to Sunday morning, and then let me be done with that nightmare that was Denver. Again, I look at this game in 2 different ways, the micro and the macro. Nico, Steve, you guys are, I'd say, of very average intelligence. Do either of you know what the micro and the macro means? You guys have any idea, Steve?
Just me. Nico's not here. But
where did Nico go?
Enlighten me. Got to use the restroom real quick.
So let me see if I understand this now. We're in the midst of it's not like a 4-hour program. We're in the midst of a 53-minute program. You could see the finish line. And Nico decides at that point his bladder can take no more of this. And he
would never do that to you, Dave. Never.
You would never would. You don't leave during the show.
Never.
No. I mean, you don't hold the mic in front of your face, but you never get up and leave during the middle of the show.
Never.
All right. So do you know the difference between the micro and the macro?
Probably not, because you saw my reading ability. So,
all right. So let me explain to you, and let me, in all sincerity, let's see if it makes sense to you, right? So the micro, you're looking at like the minutia. The minutia of what you just saw from the Giants was awful. They lost a game to Denver. They never should have lost. They led 19-0. They led 26-8. They led 32-30, and they lost. So you're angry, and you're infuriated, and you're embarrassed, and you're agitated. That's the micro. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
And then the macro is like the 30,000-foot view from above, and that's positive, because the macro means that the quarterback is going to be good. And you saw that, and you're confident in that. So that's the micro and the macro. If nothing else, I believe that I've made you a little bit smarter on the show today.
I think so.
Yeah. Is Nico back from his bathroom break, from his powder break? Nico, you made it back from the bathroom?
Sorry.
So how does that work exactly?
What?
I don't mean like how do you go to the bathroom? Like, so you see, like, we're at 45. We're 8 minutes away from the end of the show.
Yeah.
And you determine in that moment, okay, now I'm going to get up and go to the bathroom.
I had to. Steve said I was good. Steve said he would cover me.
Well, I didn't know we were coming back on.
Right. Well, that's the thing. You never know. And that's why you need to hold it. You should have held it.
Yeah.
So next show, here's what I want to do. I want you to drink 4 gallons of water before we go on the air. And then I want you to not use the bathroom the rest of the time.
That's difficult.
Yeah, it'll be very difficult.
Because I drink a lot of water during the show.
I'm just kidding. Do you know the difference between micro and macro?
Yes.
Explain it quickly.
Micro small, macro's big.
That's right. Yeah, that's good. Steve had no idea. Well, we explained it to Steve. But again, I think the macro for the Giants, I think you take a step back and look at Jackson Dart and you have your quarterback, and that is really all you desperately needed to see this season. And 4 games in, I think everyone is of the mindset that you have your quarterback. So, all right, I'm glad that you're relieved of your urine. That's terrific. Steve, Nico, we will see you guys on Friday. All right, closing final thoughts. Again, we love you guys. We want you guys involved on Twitter. Ask your questions. Friday's the day for that. So if you do it before Friday and it's a good question or comment, we will read it live on the air. That's at DRNYGO. All right, Instagram, TikTok, at DR Giants Obsession. Spotify, Dave Rothenberg, Giants Obsession. Oh, we didn't do waiver ads. Huh. Well, let's do waiver ads. I totally forgot about the waiver ads. Why didn't you guys say anything until the very end? And I'm saying goodbye to everybody. All right, let's do throw up. There's the waiver ads. I spent so much time picking up these waiver ads, and then I forgot to do it. All right. So there's 6 teams on bye this week. And this would be the kind of a week where you're like, I don't want to play this guy long term, but for a week, can I? And the answer is, for this 1 week, I think you can. Maybe some of these guys more than just 1 week. Joe Flacco, you say, hang on a second. He's 40. Joe Flacco can still sling it. Joe Flacco, remember we talked about the Eagles having like the best or top 3 receiving duo in the NFL? The Bengals have the top receiving duo in the NFL. Chase and Higgins are absolutely elite. That's his receivers. Well, he's going to throw the ball all over the yard. Sauce Gardner is in concussion protocol. So I think Joe Flacco is going to put up, 230 and 2 touchdowns. That's more than a serviceable week to get out of your quarterback, especially when 6 teams are on bye. Tez Johnson, receiver on Tampa. You say, he's fine. He had a big touchdown a couple weeks ago. But now remember, Mike Evans is out for probably the duration of the season. Someone's going to have to catch those passes. Sterling Shepard is the old reliable. Chris Godwin is not healthy. Ibuka is good and will be there 1, but who's going to be there 2? I think Tez Johnson winds up being the 2. You can play him with confidence. This is a guy that I wouldn't just kind of think about playing him now. I think about playing him somewhat consistently moving forward. Keep an eye on this. Kyle Monangai. You say, Kyle Monangai, that sounds familiar. Rutgers kid, good running back. DeAndre Swift, if he misses time, even so, Monangai is getting like 38% of the touches. And he's a good running back. He had 17-plus points in week 7. Look for that to continue. I like Monangai certainly as like a stopgap, if not even more. And we mentioned him earlier when we were talking about the Chargers. That's Arondé Gatson. Now, in week 7, he had 29.4 points. I don't anticipate that happening again, but can you pick him up and play him confidently for Thursday night? I think the answer to that would be definitely you can. So there's the waiver wire pickups for week 8. And before we go, I just want to let you know again, we saw this statistical data, and only 30% of the people that tune in and watch Dave Rothenberg's Giants Obsession actually subscribe to it. So subscribe. It's so easy. There's a little button. You press the subscribe, and now you're subscribed, and we appreciate that, and it helps us build this show. So like us, subscribe to us. Thank you. We'll be back on Friday at 1. Enjoy the rest of your week. Get through this week. It has been a rough run from the Giants' perspective and standpoint, but we will live to see another day. And that next day for us is Friday at 1 Eastern. I'm Dave Rothenberg, and appropriately named, this has been Dave Rothenberg's Giants Obsession.